Okay, what up, ladies and gents? Your favorite Asian robot right here, and let me go live on TikTok as well. Okay, good. Grand. We're now live on both YouTube and TikTok. Welcome, ladies and gents. We hope you'll have a great time with us today. It is time for me to rock and roll. All right. Let's do this. Now, I was actually planning on doing some Monster Hunter tonight, but I'm actually going to shift that to tomorrow because my brother will be off tomorrow, so works better for me. So I'll do some TFD today. Now today I've got a fairly chill session, but I have a few things I must do. So let's do it. One second, I'm just tweeting first, making sure people know we're live, and then begin the stream proper. Do I live in the US? No. Okay, good. Tweeting and everything is completed. Alright, please be sure to share the stream. Let's have a good time. First and foremost today, I'm in the mood to actually go and farm some stuff. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Swap my inversion for speed. And we're going to one of my favorite locations. The good old Bunny Road. Let's go get some gold, guys. Preparing shaders. Well, that's gonna be a pain. A pain in the patootie. A patootie in the pain.
Out of my way!
Almost there. About 22 seconds, okay. Nice. But we don't need the Slayer set, do we? So, let's use that. I should do. Damn, too fast.
Get out of the way!
Okay, again.
Oh!
Okay, again. Darn, too fast. Okay, so that won't cut it. I want the perfect road. I need to slightly cut the time between the first instance and the second.
No chance!
Okay, noted.
My shields!
Alright. I got this.
Out of my way!
Hmm. Hello. Reactor reroll incoming next week? I'm not so sure. I don't keep up with what's actually coming until the patch notes actually get here, so unfortunately, I won't know until the patch notes arrive, but listen, if it is coming, good. I would hope so. Because I would say that this is one of the biggest problems for player retention right now. Why should I have a favorite skin, if you don't mind me asking the question? I like them all. But at the end of the day, it's just a skin. So I feel nothing toward skins. Not really. Not for me. I'll be very real with you, Travis. I don't gush about skins and I don't gush about characters. I buy them to support the game and the devs, but I really don't give two craps about the skin. I wear them because they're nice, but at the end of the day, they're just skins. I don't have a favorite. My main concern is realistically content. That's all I'm really cared about. Because at the end of the day, I do this for a living, so for me, the only thing that matters is the game going to bring me something that will get more people interested. And unfortunately, skins, as cool as they are, aren't really content. So that's my perspective so far.
My shields!
I'm hoping that there will be more focus around content improvements over the next few patches, because that's where they're really lacking right now, I think. And that's good, Travis, but unfortunately, the problem is we have falling player counts. And I'm glad you have been enjoying it. I'm always happy to see people enjoying the content, but so far the course of the ship has not turned around, if you catch my drift. And that's what's disappointed me the most. there should be 20,000 people enjoying this game at any one point in time. That's where the game needs to be. But unfortunately, right now, it is not. Yep, and that's the big problem. A good sentiment, Pedro, but what you gotta understand is that you gotta be forward-looking. You see, when content creators stop making money, we stop making content. That means no streams for you guys. That means no content, no videos, and then the game slowly dies a cold death. Now, again, I'll say I don't think this game is in danger of dying, but we are in a very, very dry spell. I mean, there's literally no content for people to do other than probably a news video or to rehash old content. It's just not the ideal situation. No, not that. Resets aren't going to help anything because this is not a PvP game. What kind of content will get people coming back is they need an endgame mode. This is the problem with a lot of games like this. They have progressive modes, but not endgame modes, you see? Even raids are essentially progressive, and then they just become grinds. So raids won't solve the issue either. There needs to be a endgame mode, a genuine endgame mode where players will just sit and play all day, all day, all day, every day. That's the issue. There isn't one like that. That's what we're missing right now. I'll tell you that much. That's what we're missing right now. We do not have a genuine endgame mode. We need a serious mode where players are gonna legit sit down and say, okay, you know, I'm gonna sit down right now and just play. We don't have that. They're trying, but they're not coming up with anything, and I understand how difficult it is, believe me. When you try and create an in-game mode, it is extremely difficult in games like this. In fact, I've been feeling even more of a progression pinch because guess what? In Monster Hunter Wilds, and I know Monster Hunter Wilds is not live service, so we can't really compare the two games, but think of it this way. When I get my armor set, even if it takes me like 10 runs to finally get that one monster piece, and I get that monster piece and I make my armor just does what it advertises and that's it. You know, there's no RNG. But I was just spamming some rerolls to try and make a interesting idea. Because I've seen some people use the blue beetle for some serious damage, and I was trying to get the last weak point damage roll to be gold, and I kept spending readjustments over and over and over, and it was just an inordinate cost, you know. So I thought to myself, oh man, I better go do some gold farming. But when I think of it in that way, I'm just like, this is not what I'm here for. You get where I'm coming from? It feels like I'm being forced into a situation where it's like, okay, so you better go and get your shit done, you know? And there's just like this constant RNG factor. I don't think people want to grind for hundreds of hours to upgrade gear. That's not a good idea, Travis. More grind is not the answer. It needs to be a balance. It needs to be something fun that we can do, and we should be able to earn progression as we do it, you know? It cannot be the reason for progression, which is exactly the problem. If this game goes for grind, and grind is what literally killed the game in the first place, nobody actually wants to have that, you see? And the only ones who enjoy grind, sure, they might stick around for a while, but most of the player base, they don't want to be grinding for hours to get an upgrade. That's not the issue here. Because there are too many games right now that are competing for players' time. And the more there's a competition for players' time, the less they're likely they are going to choose a game that is grinding. You see? That's why there is literally 1 million players playing Monster Hunter Wilds, some of the highest numbers you've ever seen. For a, you know, PvE type game. The last time we saw numbers like this was Black Myth Wukong. You know? So this is kind of the issue. We are a little bit stuck, as I mentioned on yesterday's stream, between a rock and a hard place. Players need something that is not progressive, i.e. it cannot be tied to progression, but at the same time, it needs to fulfill their need to play and log in every day, you know? It's hard to make something like that. Even I don't have a clear-cut answer. Actually, Travis, yes and no. See, Monster Hunter Wilds players base may not stay like that, but it will stay like that for long enough, and quite frankly, it is a non-live service. That's the problem. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a non-live service game. So why are people so interested in it? Because they have all these weapons to do. There's going to be events and stuff like that. It's not even a live service, but there's already a potential retention of numbers. That's what I'm trying to say. You see, here, there isn't anything to retain the numbers, and that's the problem. So, seasonal content is great, and many other games follow this model. But I think what we're really missing right now is Endgame. Well, yes, because it's new. But what you need to understand, Christian, is that there will always be new games coming out. Don't forget, that's the problem of live service. Live service competes with every other new game. I'm not saying the new game is better. I'm saying you gotta understand what we're competing with. You gotta understand what we're fighting against. That's the key. But that does not mean grinding. You see, Travis? The thing is, grind is for progression. That's what I'm trying to highlight, which a lot of people don't understand. And this is where a lot of people go wrong. Because in their minds, they equate, oh, so a live service game must have grind. No, actually, it's the wrong way to think. The best live service games don't have grind. It has to be rewarding. Rewarding is the correct term. Mike, that's literally a YouTube short that teaches you this. If you guys want to know all the, like, you're talking about this jump, dude, you have to melee after while you're grappling. Did you watch my YouTube short? Because if you didn't watch my YouTube short, you're missing out on, like, literally 50% of the knowledge. Go watch the YouTube shorts that I put up, and you'll help yourself. It literally says, learn this movement trick, alright? I'll link you this time, because I've got time. But in future, always pay attention to YouTube shorts, because YouTube shorts are a great way that you can actually learn stuff outside of just videos. Yep. Always study every bit of content I put out. No matter what the content is, you must study it. Always study the content if you want to learn everything. Otherwise, you miss one YouTube short, you miss one TikTok, that's it. You lose your knowledge. Ah. You see, that is a very different thing. RuneScape was established in a time where they could get their player base, you know? RuneScape had a very different vibe, and it was its own, I guess, master. For a new game, okay, think of it this way, right? The reason why we cannot use the older live service games as a comparison, and I want to be very frank about this, is because they occurred in a time when gaming was very different. They occurred in a time when gaming was very different, and they've got a very loyal player base that, like you said, has been playing over 20 years. But that's because that's their chosen game. For a new game to break into the market, think of it this way. There's never been any other RuneScape. There has never been a RuneScape other than RuneScape. That's why Warframe players are still higher than TFT, even though Warframe probably has more grind due to the fact that there's so many different types of activities. For a new game to break past that and to grab an audience, they have to be innovative. If we were to compare apples to apples, Monster Hunter Wilds reinvented a lot of their stuff. Monster Hunter Wilds didn't stop their innovation. They actually took what they had in Monster Hunter World and made it so much better. You know? They made it so much better that players who have never even touched the series before, or who were never excited about the series, myself included, are very excited for Wilds. You see? This is the difference. If we compare apples to apples, Monster Hunter Wilds innovated. They improved. But TFD, if you go pound for pound with Warframe, this is exactly the issue that a lot of people have brought up. Pound for pound, they don't stack up to Warframe because they're new. And I get it. I am literally the guy that literally told everyone, let's give them time. And I myself have said, how long is it going to take? 3 seasons. 3 seasons. It's going to be 3 long seasons before we even see this game get good. But that's the issue. Can this game survive 3 seasons? The devs, unfortunately, they're fighting an uphill battle right now. Alright? Well, I've said as much, Ziggy. That's been discussed as well before. But let's not bring up what was discussed in another stream with another creator. We shouldn't do that, Zig. I mean, that's just not something we should talk about. Let's focus on this stream and this creator, alright? Never ever do that again. Now, coming back to the point, alright? Without derailing the discussion. And again, never derail a discussion. That's just disrespectful to your creator. Let's talk about the actual issues here. We do need to let it cook, and they are listening, but I think they need to step it up. I genuinely think their pacing might be a bit slower than intended. I have heard that they are improving their development team, and they are trying to get more developers in so that they can work faster, which is good. I've heard that. But there's always this feeling of, is it too little too late? Every single game that has had genuine success, alright, they took about a year in most situations to get good. Even Helldivers 2, they had their major low point for many, many months until finally, you know, they started to hit their stride again, and they've managed to retain a good player base. Of course, they had a spectacular launch. Compared to TFD, they had a very spectacular launch and much more retention than TFD had, because TFD at the start was far too grindy. And I know that they did that to sort of lengthen the content a bit so that players wouldn't be done in like 2 seconds, but it was just too much. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not interested in jumping back in because it's just the same. I know it's just going to be the same old, and there's no content for me to make there. I'd rather focus on a game like Wilds because there's a trove of content that I can make for the next year, probably, you know? So yeah, for me at least, I feel that the devs are doing a great job. They do listen to their community, but I can see the exhaustion. You know, I can see the exhaustion in the player base. Oh, I don't care about reactors. I'm just here for gold. If you actually check my gold farming video, this is actually one of the best spots to farm gold. Now, it depends on how fast you actually clear the zone. But if you clear it fast enough, you know, and I'm being lazy about clearing it, but realistically, if you clear this fast enough, you can earn the most gold out of pretty much every other spot in the game. I could, but I don't feel like using the gold booster right now. I'm just chilling, you know. I don't really have a reason to use the gold booster. I mean, I'm just earning extra for future. I'm not gonna do it forever. I'm just gonna be here like an hour. I like to just put in an hour sometimes. But you can always use gold boosters. FYI, if you're in desperate need of gold, please do use the boosters. They give them to you free, you know, every now and again. Nothing is new on TFD. And they're about the same. I've got a new technique for Bunny, especially with the cores now. So thanks to the cores, Bunny is about the same as an S. So I'm bored of running an S and I don't feel like pressing buttons. But yeah, there's nothing new on TFD. Update will be on March 13th, so it's a long way away. Pretty much, yeah. You see, that's the problem, Zero Hey. A lot of people say that, and I get it. You know, there will definitely be some players that come back, but what we're missing is the fact that many players just won't come back. You know, we lose more than we gain, and that's been the problem recently. Every update, normally, the major ones have seen a nice uptick in players, but more and more are just not picking the game back up again, despite the improvements. That, I think, is my main concern. Because, again, it comes down to what we've just discussed. There's no real reason for them to come back, you know? I don't know, Travis. We'll see. I'm gonna wait and see what will actually happen, because right now, I do not even follow the dev live updates, you know? I mean, it's not like I'm not playing Monster Hunter either. I better see you at my streams, Nauchi. If I don't see you at my streams, I'll beat you up and murder your entire family. Got it? It's not that I find it as boring, but I'm just tired of clicking the same buttons. Variety is the spice of life, after all.
Get out of the way!
You can core up all your weapons if you want, but I don't feel enthused to do so. Unless there's a need, you know? Sometimes, like, I just don't feel like grinding for the sake of grinding. See, again, what I would say is that we need a serious endgame mode. I actually talked about this yesterday. So I don't know how many of y'all were here yesterday, but this is why you shouldn't miss streams if you don't want to miss the hot discussions. But as I mentioned yesterday, we need a mode that players will grind and play every single day. And I actually gave an example. There is kind of a mode like that, but in a different game. It's this thing called Havoc mode in Warhammer 40,000 Darktide. Basically what Havoc mode is that it's missions that you've already done, right? But they'll be thrown at you at random. And there's different mutators to make the mission much tougher than it was in the past. So different mutators could have totally different effects on the enemy types, stuff like this. So what you know about the mission in the past, you won't need to, you better throw that out of your head, because you're going to need to build specifically to survive the mutators. For the Enduring Legacy, just roll sprint speed and grappling, that's it. The bunny build is the old 400% bunny build, nothing's changed. All you need to roll is sprint speed and grappling hook here. And this is the same ring farming build that I've had for like since the last 2 seasons. So that's all you really need. Everybody should know these builds because they're already out there. And if you haven't followed these builds already, then you got catch up to do. In which case, you should be playing every day to catch up. A raid system will not help. I know you guys are very fixated on raids, but can I ask you guys, let me direct a question to chat. Why do you guys think raids will be good? Why do you guys think that raids will make this game better? Why do you think that grinding raids will be any different to the grinds that we're already facing right now? Let me ask you guys that question. Why do you guys fixate on raids so much? Why do you guys think that raids are going to make a difference to this game? Let me ask you. Because this is something that I'm very keen to know right now. All right? Because it's something that I hear players harp on every single day. They're like, we need raids in this game. But what makes you think that raids will be different? Please, tell me. Okay. Let me counter that straight away, Mike. It will incentivize a less mind-numbing activity. The raid itself will become the mind-numbing activity. And even if there was a more engaging boss, let me tell you again. Even if the boss is so-called more engaging, wouldn't it still be the same grind? Because unless they're going to change their raid every single day, or make it a mutating raid, or create a raid that is procedurally generated, I don't think it's going to help. Because you're just going to be running the same thing over and over. Think Destiny 2. When players at the time, when 1,000 Voices or whatever was super good and was the must-have weapon, people were literally boosting and forcing people and, like, you know, forcing these people to just run the raids with them over and over. And then you'll need pre-mates for raids, you'll need guilds for raids, and what if they make the raids too difficult? You see? And raids have serious mechanics. That's another thing. So a lot of people fixate on raids, but I don't think that they're the solution and the answer here. I don't think raids are the right way to go, you know? Like 2 years PM Passy? I don't know how long, but a very long time, man. You see, that would be possible in action RPGs, but I don't think it'll be possible here. You see? I don't think raids will lead to toxicity, so I do want to also counter that point, because that I think is a bit of an unfair thing. Like, I don't think raids themselves will cause toxicity unless it's related to leaderboards, which they shouldn't have. Their current leaderboards are already a failure, in my opinion. I think that it would be more interesting, you know, to have something more like, again, many of you guys have not experienced Dark Tide, and I don't blame you, it's not that great of a game, but their endgame mode is, I think, what we need here. I'm sorry, Sasha, if you wouldn't mind, could you please speak English? Because, unfortunately, this is an international stream. We require our viewers to speak English. I'll try and translate your statement because I've got a moment. And thank you for enjoying my builds and my work, but if you don't mind, please speak English with us, if that's okay with you. All right? My apologies, but since this is an international stream, we can't leave people out, yeah? Casual things would be fine, like a player profile, that's okay. But I think that current leaderboards are not the right way. Hello, Grind. Right now, I'm pretty sure this is all that people are doing. We're literally just sitting in Albion and dancing. Dude, I was like sinking in for a second. Free skins or cosmetics depends on what they're tied to. I don't mind if it's an activity that is fun, but otherwise people start grinding for the sake of grinding, you know? Think of it this way. What did people's gripe with the Defiler is that, my god, you know, earning every skin takes so long and you have to grind and grind and grind Defiler. So I'm thinking to myself, like, you don't have to unless you want the skin for every single character, but people will just mindlessly grind it for no reason and then get sick of the content and then they put the game down, you know? Exactly. Community would be a big thing. See, they don't even have that system. We don't even have a guild system here, so what are we supposed to do? When I first started this game, you know, when this game first launched, I already said, at first I thought that was going to be a guild system, so I told every single one of my viewers, you know, we're gonna create the Robot Nation Guild, and we're going to make sure that everybody can have a spot in it. Now, of course, members will be the ones, like channel members and channel supporters will be the ones that run with me in games, just like it always is. But usually our guilds are open to everybody who supports the stream. Then there was no clan or guild system. Then we were like, what the hell? So basically, I'm just supposed to exist by myself. And it ended up just being me running with members, so that was it. It was great for a short while, but it didn't really retain players. There needs to be, I think, guild stuff to do. You know? Exactly, Mike. A lot of our folks and friends have already quit and left it all behind. A guild or a clan system would be great, Commander Fuji. I agree with that. By the way, for those on TikTok, I'm mostly on YouTube, but feel free to have conversations with me everywhere. You know? We don't even have, right now, genuinely, we don't even have a system to accommodate a true multiplayer vibe. It just feels like solo, and then I have to go and ask around for people to, like, play with me. It, like, just feels sad, you know? You see, this all circles back to exactly what was discussed yesterday. You know? Yesterday, and I'm sure Jonathan will remember this, because yesterday we discussed the exact same thing. See, that's the problem. This is the problem. They made it such that most of the content in this game is solo-based content, and then now when we need people, we can't get people because they made everything solo in the first place. So, you know, how can we retain players if there's nothing for them to play for? More importantly, how can we keep the players interested when there's no social aspect at all? You know what's the greatest fun about Monster Hunter? My friends, anytime, you know, they want to hunt together, we can hop on, we can all be in a party together and just go ham on some monster. Now, sure, we don't want to be doing that all day, every day, and we certainly wouldn't. You know, it's going to be great for a while, and then we're going to take a breather until the first event happens. But that's how it is. That's how it is, you know? I might switch back to Ines though, because Bunny is a little bit... Sometimes she's too fast, which actually slows her down. I might switch to Ines. I don't mind the single player aspect either, but I think we need some genuine team-based content in this game. Alright? We need some serious team-based content. Mr. Tony, we are not going to do that. We are here to talk about this game. If you want to say play Warframe, doors over there, pal. I mean, it's fun, but do you really want to do that every single day, Pedro? For hours and hours and hours, you're going to get bored. Same as everybody else. Nobody can do the same activity over and over unless you want to mindlessly delete defiler every single day. Right? So we gotta be more than that. Well, 3 days straight, I admire your determination, but most people don't want to do the same activity for more than 2 or 3 hours. But sure, if you're having fun with that, you go ahead and you enjoy your 3 days of deletion. See, again, this was exactly what we discussed yesterday, Zero Hey, where healers and tanks are required. We don't have healers and tanks. Every single character that's been released is a DPS. So what healers and tanks are we talking about? We don't have healers and tanks. I think that, number one, we need players to be able to play the way they like. I get that they wanted gunplay to be significant, but they shouldn't have reduced skill power for no reason to just make gunplay significant, you know? The game, in my opinion, is that they've made many improvements, but long-term player retention is a problem because, unfortunately, this game is still young. It hasn't even been out for a year, so it's struggling to compete with the more established games right now. So that is the major issue. I think guilds and teams would definitely be a extremely good addition right now, you know? And yes, HP, that is kind of the catch-22. It's literally all the same stuff. No matter what you do, you're still doing the same stuff. And that's the if right there. If.
This is going to sting. Take this. Begin tracking. This is where it ends.
There's no such thing as a weapon recommendation, Brian. You can use any weapon in the game. If you haven't seen my Ultimate F2P Survival Guide, you might want to go take a look at that. Alternate modes would definitely be good. I agree with that. It would be nice to see some alternate modes. That being said, those are still more like fun activities. I think before we even look at fun activities, we need to establish a proper end game, which we don't have right now. Well, that's exactly the problem, HP Notebook. The game is co-op, but there's way more advantages solo play. So, That is the entire problem. And that's why they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. If they wanted this game to be co-op, they should have made everything co-op right from the start. 400% should never have had a solo mode. It should have always been co-op, co-op, co-op. Always. And they should have just forced it. Because that teaches players to play in teams. That teaches players to work together. And they could have started introducing mechanics, but instead they wanted to cater to everybody. So they made things solo viable, and then players found out, hey wait, because enemies are scaled in solo mode, isn't solo just better? There are no raids in this game, not right now. I think they are working on a melee system, but unfortunately, like many others have said, there's a long catch-up time. I would like to see all the dungeons have the 400% operating at all times. But right now, they need to decide, do they want this to be a solo experience or a co-op experience? Am I a one-man super soldier or am I a team? That's exactly the problem that we encountered. It should be more rewarding to play in a team than it is to play solo. Do you know that this is something that Monster Hunter Wilds actually has? The monsters do scale if you've got teammates, you know? But here's the thing. Although the monsters scale if you have teammates, if your teammates are good and your teammates are coordinated with you, it becomes so much more fun. So for example, my bow, what my bow does is that I rain down fire on the enemy, and as long as I'm undisturbed, I can put out a lot of DPS. So my melee friends will go in and they'll sort of tank for me while my bow puts in a lot of work and gets wounds and stuff and all that kind of thing. So that's where we're at, you know? There's just so many interesting weapon combinations and ways to work together, and that's what I like. Sure, I could play solo, but it's much more rewarding in a team. This is kind of the problem that we have here. Well, Bree, you got to be following my build videos. If you're not following my build videos, that'll be your first problem. So make sure you're actually studying the videos that I put out and stuff like that, and you'll be okay. If you're struggling, just follow the build videos. No problem, Leaf. I try to be.
This is going to hurt.
Unfortunately, I'll be playing Monster Hunter over the next few days, so you won't see me streaming on TikTok since Monster Hunter does not get along well with TikTok. I'll be on YouTube, so be sure to catch my streams there if you're interested in Monster Hunter. We'll be hunting there for the next 2 days while my brother has time off, so look forward to it. Now, back to TFD. Hey Joe, good to see you. I think that this game has a lot of potential, but it's gonna take some time, and time is what they don't have right now. This game is called The First Descendant. There you go. Sorry, I misspelled it, but I think you can just plug that into Google. Oh, no wait, the spelling's correct.
Eliminated.
You're pretty much right about that, Mike. And actually, I hate to say it, but you've hit the nail on the head. The fact is, they made everything. No problem, Sasha. I am very glad that my build was able to be of help to you. And thank you for speaking English. I translated what you said earlier, but, you know, thank you for taking the time to speak English. I hope that you can understand what I'm saying, and I hope you'll enjoy the stream. All right, feel free to interact with us. Don't worry even if your English is not perfect. We try to understand everybody, so welcome. I hope so, Commander Fuji. I hope the next few updates are packed, you know. I want something to make it worth my while to be playing every single evening. Thanks for the finger heart, Leaf. Appreciate that.
You can't escape.
Because I tell you, oh, donuts. Thank you. 2 out of 10 for my goal. I appreciate that. But yeah, you know, this morning I was playing Monster Hunter and I was starting to get some more good viewership on Monster Hunter. You know, so my viewership on Monster Hunter is starting to go up a little bit. And I was like, man, I should do an evening stream. Of course, I forgot that my brother was taking leave, so that's why I'm here on TFD, because I want to give you guys at least one TFD stream before I'm away for about 2 days. Gaming with my brother, you know. But yeah, I think that solo play is kind of killing the game. But when we play in teams, the problem is that it's not rewarding enough. We need to have more rewards for team-based play. And I hope some of y'all got into the focus group, you know. Oh, I'm just grinding some gold right now, Joe. Grinding some gold, having discussions with the community, trying to make a little money, you know. Because, yeah, this month has been real bad for me, so I'm doing my best out here. You know, but, yeah. I agree. We need some real reasons to play with friends and teams and stuff like that. You see, that's what I'm worried about, Jonathan. Who exactly are they putting in these focus groups? Because it sounds to me like these focus group people, maybe they don't actually understand what makes a game great.
This is going to sting.
Because did you notice that after they started the focus group, they had one of their worst seasons ever? The focus group people should have been the people to put out the fact that reactor grinding is boring. They should have been the first one to feed back to the devs that, hey, some of this content won't fly. So I don't know who's in the focus group, but they don't seem to understand what the hell they're supposed to do.
Where it ends.
Well, that sounds a little toxic, HP, but yeah, that's pretty sad.
Damn it, no.
And reactor farms are definitely tough. But I heard that they are fixing that, so fingers crossed. If it is as Pedro says, and they fix it in the next update with reactor rerolls, I think players will be very happy.
You dare run away.
Oh, I'm just grabbing gold while talking with everybody. E-simple. That's about that. But yeah, they're putting out their next big update is March 13. So I hope that the next big update wows me because I'm going to be here for it. I'm going to be here for it, you know?
Take this.
Like, fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. I don't think they can fix matchmaking because they're... I'll be real with you. It's not that there's a matchmaking problem. It's just that I don't think we have enough players. Or good matchmaking.
This is going
Before they
to
can fix matchmaking, they need to fix their player count. So, like, all these things are kind of like, you know, little paradoxes. You want to fix one thing, but in order to fix it, you've got another problem that you got to fix. So it's not that easy. Rerolling reactors will be a big thing because I feel that that's what's really missing right now. The reactor grind is turning a lot of people off, but again, it's just a symptom of the real problem because once people get their perfect reactor, they'll have access to all the builds and then they'll build all the stuff, then they'll get bored. So, yeah. I kind of understood why they did a lot of this stuff initially because they didn't want people to just blow through the content straight away, but now, you know, it's just holding the game back. They need to come up with more content fast. And no matter how hard the dev team is working, well, they gotta step it up. And I hope they do. I hope they do. You know? I still have faith that they'll make this game great, but it's gonna be like, in my opinion, 3 seasons. And I don't know if they've got 3 seasons. I hope they do. Well, first of all, it's gonna be called Season 2, Episode 2 for some weird reason. I don't know why they didn't want to just call it Season 3, but maybe they're trying to lengthen their ramp-up time. But whatever the case is, do I think it'll bring back players? Yes. But will it be enough players? I don't know that. I hope so. Fingers crossed, my friend. Well, Axome, it means you've got to start marketing the game in your region. Exactly. Basically, half the roster is unused, Joe. You're right about that, you know? I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the Thirst skins, but that can't be everything, you know? That can't be everything. Half the roster is unused. When's the last time a Lepic was even relevant other than as the traction grenade guy in Void Erosion? And even then, you won't see one out in the wild. They're only usually used in coordinated teams. It is a problem. It is a problem, ladies and gents. And it is a problem that shouldn't be a problem, but here we are. If they wanted, like, honest to God, Lepic should have been like Valbin. For anyone that has played Warframe, you guys should know who Valbin is, but basically Valbin also had a so-called traction grenade, and that was his main thing. All he would do in the end game was use the traction grenade, but it had a massive range and it held people for a very long time. So it was a really great disable, and I could see it being relevant in a lot of content. Now this is the old Warframe stuff, but realistically speaking, you know, why don't we have that here for Lepic? Lepic's pitiful grenade lasts 2 seconds. That's nowhere near enough. And its range is not long enough. It should be like super ranged. You see, I think a lot of people also have that fear, Mike. Like, I don't know why they're going with the idea of Season 2, Episode 2, but if that's what they want to do, then, you know, that's what it's got to be. And you're absolutely right, Commander Fuji. Jaber definitely needs an upgrade. I would think Jaber has been one of the most maligned Descendants because he just sucks ass. No matter how many YouTubers try and say nonsense like Jaber's good, Jaber is not good. Well, I haven't played Warframe in about 9 years, so I'm just talking from what I remember, Thong. But basically, yeah, you know, at least I could see the similarities, and Lepic just wasn't useful. Nano compounds, just any place that drops reactors. Honestly, the same place that drops the quantum crystals is the same place that drops the nano compounds. I recommend doing Defiler if you can kill him fast.
Keep trying.
Ajax is not good because right now there's no point in a defensive Descendant, Leaf. Basically, you just want the strongest DPS and off you go. No problem, J-Stars. Nano compound farms are the same as quantum crystal farms. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of Descendants just aren't that good, you know. But Luna, it's more that her mini game is so troublesome. Like, people don't want to be forced to play Guitar Hero while trying to play this game, you know. I feel that that's where they went a bit wrong. He does look cool, doesn't he? Wrong. People will grind two things, HB Notebook. They will grind Serena, and they'll grind the new doggo. And then after they level up Serena and the doggo, then they're gone. But you're right. There has to be a new activity. There genuinely has to be a real new activity. I'm doing good, Foxy. However, how dare you not show up to stream yesterday? Alright? You are getting 300% shame bells. The new arcade tuning will be cool, but it has to fit the endgame content, you know? I hope that they don't just make more bullet sponge enemies, because with the arcade tuning system, our Descendants will definitely get stronger, which will be cool, but hopefully it's not just more bullet sponge enemies that we have to use the arcade tuning system to equalize with, because that's just going to be sad. Well, I don't know if he put in work. At most, he'd just be some guy to, you know, revive your team. But why would you, like, you can play with an Ajax, but you'd still not be faster than 4 Glaze. So, I mean, it's not, I'm not saying people can't use Ajax and 30 or whatever. Sure, they can, but you're not going to beat a team that's coming in with an Enzo and 3 Glaze or 4 Glaze or whatever. It's just, he just doesn't deal enough damage. I mean, compared to a Glay. So, you know, that's kind of the problem right now. See, that's what the people on YouTube are saying, Leaf. Right now, there's no co-op factor. There just isn't. It's all solo. Like, everything we do is solo. Because there's just no point. The rewards that I can get solo are the same as the rewards I get co-op, and co-op in a lot of cases will actually slow me down. So if co-op is just going to slow me down, then why do I want to co-op at all?
This is going to hurt.
Thanks, John. But no, listen, I think what they're just trying to say is that the new content will be accessible to everybody. But I kind of agree with you. Those with cores are probably just going to blow through the new content in an hour. So, yeah. Well, of course, Ajax will be slow. Ajax is a tank, or he was designed as one. I actually wanted to start this game as a tank, but there was just no point. Because what do we even need a tank for?
This
The way the game worked is that basically you wanted to clear the content as fast as possible so you don't waste time.
is awesome.
So at the end of the day, you know, there was no need for a tank. It was just go in and blow through content ASAP. And that was life. I don't disagree with that, Chad. That'll be pretty cool, except that, again, it would just end up being the same content unless they introduce like mutators or randomized content. The problem is that there's no randomized content. We end up grinding the same thing over and over.
There's no
So
getting
that
away.
kind of is a problem. Hell, even Warhammer 40,000 Darktide, the mission board is randomized, so we don't get the same missions all the time.
This is going
I mean, you're not wrong about that. You can drag an Ajax through. I'm just saying that, you know, it still wouldn't be faster. So, for me, I'm just like, meh. They got to get crazy creative.
This is where it ends. You can't escape.
Yep, and that's why I'm mostly playing Monster Hunter right now. You know, sure, it'll wear off after a while, but it's still like a good solid month of gameplay. I want to master every weapon, make tutorials for everything. You know, there's a lot to do. So, TFD right now is just dry for me. Like, sure, I could go and build up every single weapon, which some other creators are doing, but it's just the same stuff every day.
Damn it.
I'm glad you're having fun with that, Foxy.
This is going to sting.
Lol. Yeah, of course. You know, I hate to say this to that person on TikTok. Now, of course, they're banned from my streams forever, but just so you know, acting tough on the internet and trying to be racist and behave like that,
Take this.
I just hope that you get better in life, because that's not going to fly when you're actually trying to have a life. Yeah? FYI. Good luck to you. Give me 1 second. I finally get to report somebody on TikTok. Yeah! Hopefully I can get them banned off TikTok. Ooh, my first ban on TikTok would be nice. I mean, look, Valby's cool, but she's not going to trump every other character. So...
This is going to hurt.
And Serena flying will be cool for a while. They already have that, Chad. It's called Void Erosion Purge. The thing is that every level spawning more and tankier bosses is not the solution, because that's the exact same bullet sponge content that we already have. You see? I mean, it's literally the Void Erosion Purge. That's what it is, you know? So that is quite literally a dungeon with different levels, and every level spawns more tankier bosses. But unless it is accompanied by mechanics, which I guess is what I'm trying to highlight, unless we accompany a system, you know. See, different rewards at different levels for any group that can make it through is great, but again, they don't have the mechanics for it right now. You see, if they want the content to be accessible, it cannot just be for pre-made teams, which is another problem. The leaderboards are all for pre-made teams, whereas the average team is just running all glaze or whatever. If they want to have that, then first and foremost, they need a system whereby they can allow mechanics to exist.
Let's end this.
Otherwise, we're just having bullet sponge enemies, which is not fun. You know? People don't want enemies to just be like super tanky. We want fun and interesting combat. But how do you introduce mechanics into a game? Right? And this is the problem that I talked about on the previous stream. How exactly are you going to introduce mechanics into a game when Ines can shoot her lightning through walls, right? So what mechanic would you have for that? You see, this is why I said that yesterday they need to decide what type of game they want this to be. Either we go down the Dynasty Warriors road, which means that this is more of a fun OP hack and slash kind of style, run and gun, you know, or we go down mechanics, tactical gameplay, all that kind of stuff.
This is going to hurt.
Yeah, there won't be any changes until the new episode, which makes sense. And that's getting a nerf is fine, but there are also other Descendants that can, you know, blast through walls, FYI. So, Ines can get a nerf, but there's still others out there. Sharon, FYI, can go through walls as well. All electric Descendants can shoot through walls, FYI. So you see, this is where the catch-22 comes in. What kind of game are we making? What kind of game are we trying to create? And what direction do we really want to go in? That's what we don't have right now. Direction. Because I get that they've done a fantastic job. They've done their very best trying to cater to everybody. But they need to make a decision. Yeah, that's true, Fuji. Although Valby is a bit more limited, but yes, you're right. Again, what kind of game do we want to see? What kind of game are we trying to make? Well, true, you're not wrong about that, Matthias. Only Ines can really cheese. Me being the head of the studio also would not help, because as much as I've got great ideas, I know nuts about game design. I can only give ideas, but ultimately the implementation, that's up to developers. So making me head of the studio, you know, as much as I appreciate the sentiment, probably wouldn't change anything. Because all I'd be doing is calling people into meetings and saying, why isn't this done? And then they'll give me 10 reasons for why they haven't yet, you know? No, no, we're just talking, the one. If there was a nerf to Ines, there'd be a video about it.
This is where it ends. This is going to sting.
That's what they're trying to do, Chad, but it's a bit hard for them right now because Ines is so much higher than the benchmark for every other Descendant. So now, if they want to make everything Ines standard, they're going to have to buff everything to Ines standard, which is a bit tough. So I don't know what they're going to do, but we'll have to see. Limited raid weapons will be a temporary solution, but people will just grind the raids like they already did.
Keep trying.
Already answered that, the one.
This is where it ends.
Yeah, if they have to, then, you know,
Begin tracking.
that's what they'll do, and they'll, you know, have to bite that bullet. Which I think is fair. Which I think is personally fair, you know. If they do have to bite the bullet, they have to bite the bullet. That's reality.
Take this.
Yuppa, yuppa, yuppa.
Don't you dare run away. Begin tracking.
Nobody does this for Kyber, Jose. Kyber is not gained through farming a mission. I don't know if you've seen my guide on farming Kyber, but Kyber is gone through other ways. People do this for gold, FYI. Because this is still one of the best gold farms in the game. Especially if they're clearing fast enough. Never try and farm Kyber through a mission. And if you're not sure how to farm Kyber, then check my guide on it. Also, if you're farming Kyber, you are relatively new to the game. Because usually once you get to a certain point, you'll be drowning in Kyber. Because you won't need any more. Yep, just check the video, and you'll have a much easier time. If you check the video, everything is explained on there. Just go to my channel, How to Farm Kyber RealAsianRobot. Put that in YouTube, you'll get the video. Easy peasy. They have to do both, Chad. Unfortunately, there's no easy solution to this. They have to not only pump out content, but they also have to balance. End of story. We are past the point where we can just use light actions, you know? We can't really have a situation where we say, okay, you know, we gotta just give them time and they can take an unlimited amount of time. They don't have an unlimited amount of time. Clock's ticking. Because, you see, I would have had a very different stance if their player base wasn't continuing to fall. The problem is that we haven't seen the bottom. I thought the bottom was 10K. Just as an example. But it fell below that this week. For the first time ever to 8K. That scares me a little. Because where's the bottom? If the bottom was something like 6K or 7K, and it never moved from that bottom, then I'd say, okay, that's fine. I'd be alright with that. They've got time. But if their bottom falls below that, they don't have a lot of time. Not quite sure if I understand your question, Sasha, but if you're talking about Inessa's bossing build, are you talking about Defiler? Because Defiler is, you have to understand the technique. I will try and show you and demonstrate that. I think they have to rework a lot of stuff, but they're going to have to do that while pumping out new content. There's no way around it. Sasha, let me try and demonstrate the Defiler kill for you. There is a technique to do it with an S, and you need to follow the appropriate technique. So when trying to fight Defiler, what you are trying to do essentially is you're trying to knock him down. All right? You must make him kneel on the ground. How do you do that? There's a way. Well, I'll mostly be playing Monster Hunter Wilds over the next 2 days, but yeah. And for those that are interested, please make sure to tune into my YouTube because I cannot stream Monster Hunter Wilds on TikTok. Alright. When it comes to facing the Defiler with an S, right, you just want to roll. If you fail your jump, it's okay. But basically, you need to start the fight behind the Defiler. Okay, so one example is behind the Defiler. Now, when he turns around, walk through his legs. Then do you see the poison pool? While aiming for his knees and casting your skill, you want to just stay close to him and knock him down. You see? When you knock him down, you'll be able to beat him just like that. See? That's okay, John. You take your time. So I'll demonstrate this a few times for you, Sasha, because I know English is not your native language, but I'll try and go through it with you so that you understand what to do. And I'll repeat it a few times so that you can see the technique that we're using. Sorry, I got to go back to Albion for a minute to change my inversion reinforcer, but I'll happily demonstrate this technique. All right? This is the standard technique if you're using my bossing build. Well, she does. She is the strong one. But of course, Glay is actually faster than an S if you know what to do. Now, inversion reinforcer, please remember, electric, you know, here you can choose some recovery like that, some antibody explosion, and you're good to go. It is not as easy on controller versus mouse and keyboard, but unfortunately, chat, all I can do is demonstrate the technique. So I show people the technique, but at the end of the day, it's up to them, you know, whether they apply it. All I can do is teach. Well, these two are the main ones, Jose. You can build some other characters for it, but it will be a very niche kind of thing. Like Haley with the Blue Beetle can sort of do it in 8 seconds or so. Another respected creator has made a video on. I don't know, up to you. I just don't want to invest in that. You can also do it with Bunny, but Bunny takes about a minute and 20 seconds roughly. Okay, let's demonstrate the technique again. You can choose to cast your second skill if you want to. This is just to trigger the pest control buff, but you may not actually have enough stacks, alright? I sometimes try casting it, but I don't rely on it. Now, start behind the defiler. Walk around the edge. Then skirt the edge of the toxic pool. See where I'm staying? I'm standing at the edge of the toxic pool. Knock him down. And yes, make sure you watch the video. There you go. If you're on PC, you'll be able to do this. Of course I do, Jose. I have a vid for everything. Here's my entire playlist of videos. If you're new to my channel, go to my playlist of videos, study all the videos. There is everything you need on this channel, but you need to follow all the videos. So go to my playlist, watch all the videos. That'll be your homework while I'm busy playing Monster Hunter Wilds, okay? When I come back, you better have watched every video. Yes, as long as you're on PC, just follow the technique. Okay, it's a straightforward technique, but you need to know what to do. So I'll demonstrate it a few more times for you. Start behind the defiler. Okay, see behind the defiler. And then, even with no stacks of pest control, it doesn't matter. Skirt the edge of the pool. See the edge of this toxic pool? You just need to practice. Once you practice, you'll be okay. Now, sometimes he will go into frenzy. You see that? Sometimes he will go into frenzy. And then you just have to move around a little bit. Okay? He will still die. There's plenty of content, but it's a little bit grindy and there's no pay to win. It's up to you, TIE Typer. Try it out for yourself. It's free anyway. There's no pay to win, I can guarantee you that. So try it out for yourself and see if you enjoy it. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate again, and I'll keep reciting the techniques, so pay close attention. For anyone that does not know how to do this with an S, the build, the technique, the tutorials, all of it is on my YouTube channel. All you have to do is follow that. I do, Leaf, I do. Hey, Martin, thanks for the donut. Appreciate that. Thank you for all the support, guys. But yes, I try to be as informative with any game that I play. Console, I think they have a more difficult time strafing and casting, or so they've said. Okay, so once again, stay close to the edge. Walk through his legs, walk past his legs. Yeah? See that? I like to stay close here to the edge, knock him down. No, absolutely not, Gator. You can farm every single Descendant for free, and it barely takes any time, so... I mean, if you consider that pay to win, then basically a whole bunch of other games out there are pay to win. No, all Descendants are available for free. There's no Descendant that's locked behind money, so you can get whatever you want. Mr. Abarkle, have you seen the video on this? Because you might want to go to the video. Head to my YouTube channel, just look for my Ines boss build. Ines boss build RealAsianRobot. You put that into YouTube, you'll find the video. The secret garden is the gun, but you need to understand the full build to understand what's happening here. All Descendants are easy to grind for, Jaden. Just go get the Amorphous and grind. That's it. I have nothing to do with that game, Jay. I do not speak about that game. I do not talk about that game. If you want to discuss it, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. Thank you. You don't have to grind hard, dude. YouTube. I only stream on YouTube. I don't like Twitch. I hate Twitch, actually. I mean, look, Gator. Every game has grind. So, unless you want to play a PvP game, then you can play Marvel Rivals. There's no grind there. The only thing you're going to grind is your rank, but you can't really consider that pay to win, dude. Pay to win is only if you get a competitive advantage, and there's no competitive advantage here. You don't have to grind hard. I mean, unless you consider like 4 hours hard, then in that case, you probably shouldn't even be playing video games. You know what I'm saying? So no, it's not a hard grind here. Not sure what you mean, Maximus, because I've never had that problem. So if you have a problem purchasing items, I suggest you go to the official Discord and talk to the devs about it.
Keep trying. Target successfully neutralized.
Okay. So I hope that this has served as a good explanation of how to handle the Defiler. Alright. One last time. Any Descendant can be the best DPS, but I'll be honest with you, Leaf. What you do is you go to my channel, see which Descendants I build for the current season. If I built it, it's probably the best. Do that. No, Finesse is talking about a different game, John. He's referring to a game that must not be mentioned. He's not talking about this. Finesse still plays this. He's talking about an old, ancient game that we no longer talk about. He's referring to the unmentionable, yes. But anyway, yeah, I heard about that already. No problem, Sasha. Happy to help. Okay. Once you dodge the puddle, skirt the edge. Skirt the edge and shoot his kneecap. See? Like that. Knock him down. And you win. No, not really. Twitch doesn't pay their streamers well. YouTube does. You can make a living off YouTube without being like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of viewers. I don't need 1,000-man viewer raids, and I don't have to do subathons to make a living. I live off what people pay me. You see, this would be impossible on Twitch. Count how many viewers I have right now. I've got 70 viewers on YouTube, and I'm still making a full-time living. That's what YouTube does for streamers. Yeah, Twitch does not pay their streamers well, which is why you see only the top-tier streamers having to do subathons, things like that, or practically do softcore pornography in order to make ends meet. And I'd really rather not do that. Okay, I'm not sexy enough for that. So that's why I don't bother with Twitch. I find it a waste of time. A lot of game companies still work with Twitch. They go for Twitch, but at the end of the day, I have no interest in Twitch. Yep, and it's a good funeral. They deserve it. The day they chose the path that went against me was the day they failed. Don't worry, I'm working out, Rena. I'm working out hardcore. Once I'm ready, the shirtless will come back. YouTube gives much higher percentages. And Twitch takes too much. Also, their ad revenue is trash. But I mean, look, at the end of the day, you pick whichever platform you like, but just know that I'm not here to debate which is better. YouTube is far better if you do your research. And once you find that out, nobody ever goes to Twitch. Gamers sometimes prefer Twitch, but I have no love for it. I think it's a shady, terrible, terrible website. Also, I'm not going to bother here. I am already multi-platform streaming. YouTube and TikTok, that's all I need. I don't need more platforms than that. Hey 2B, what's up? My morning is okay. But it's evening for me now. Okay, there's that done. Back to Albion. Yes, that's on March 13. That's what they say anyway. Ultimate Blair is coming. There were indeed, Foxy, there were indeed. In the distant past. And they shall return again when I'm sexier. For there is no need for me to do that now. Plus, I can save on air conditioning. But I'm not showing you guys my dad bod. Yes, indeed. Now listen, 2B, here's what I need you to do. Go make some good money on your business trip, alright? And then donate to me, okay? Counting on you. Yeah. Okay, acquire amorphous material. Yes, peak performance. Gerardo, unfortunately, there is no such guide for that. There's only suffer greatly forever. Everybody must simply suffer. That is life. Suffering will build your character and make you stronger. The shelter. I think I can do the shelter. Let's go to the shelter. Zoom. Anyway, for those of you on TikTok, please remember there won't be any TikTok streams for the next 2 days. If you guys want to catch me on YouTube, because Monster Hunter Wilds, for some reason, I cannot stream it on TikTok. Like, the TikTok Live app that I'm using on PC just doesn't want to pick up Monster Hunter Wilds and doesn't get along with it. Yeah, I have no clue, Axome. I'll be real with you. I have not followed any of the dev updates, nor do I give a damn. I'm just going to wait and see whatever they put in the patch, and then I'll tell you guys about it in my patch notes video. So I don't really know what's coming, and I don't really care either. My concern is so minimal right now that I'm just not going to bother. The only thing I want to do is play more Monster Hunter Wilds, and my broski has the next 3 days off, so we're going to be hunting with our gang. We're going to go hunt some gang. But I tried streaming Monster Hunter Wilds on TikTok the first day. It just did not go well. So hopefully when Monster Hunter Wilds is more optimized, I'll be able to stream it on TikTok. Because there's so much cool stuff that I want to show you guys. But for now, you guys will have to settle for my little TikTok vids on Monster Hunter. Because I've got some funny ones that I'll show you guys. Like this morning, we had like 3 monsters fighting it out like it was WWE. It was great. Like we were just getting free hits on all of them. This game, yeah, it's very smooth right now. The only time it's not smooth is during certain sequences like this, where, unfortunately, because of the way Ness's abilities work, I'm murdering everything so fast when it spawns that the game lags. But other than that, the game runs very well right now. I can easily get more than 120 frames, even on like ultra settings. So the game is very well optimized compared to Monster Hunter Wilds. Oh, Monster Hunter Wilds? No, the optimization is horrifying. At most, you can get 60 FPS. I have a guide for it, but you won't be able to get more than that. Sorry. You'll just have to suffer, realistically speaking. A stable 60 FPS is the best you can do.
My shield.
I mean, it is. No. The game itself is just trash at optimization. They built the game primarily for the PlayStation 5 console. So whatever they ported to PC and Xbox is just horrifying. And even on PlayStation 5, it's horrifying. So the optimization is just terrible. So yeah, nothing much you can do. You kind of just have to accept it. As for those games, like for Monster Hunter Wilds, the optimization is so bad that unless you're running a 4090 or a 4080 or 4070 Super, you're going to struggle a lot with frame rates. And even if you do get good frame rates, you're going to get about 90 FPS at most. You can't even reach 120 frames. So yeah, for me, I just said, okay, you know what? I'll just accept 60 frames and whatever. Most of the time, I wouldn't accept a game playing on 60 frames, but 60 frames is literally what Monster Hunter Wilds was designed around. So that's going to be your best results. And even then, there are texture errors, texture problems. Oh man, so much bad optimization. The game is so fire that more than 1 million people don't care that the optimization is bad. They're still going to play it on PC. But yeah, the optimization is terrible. Yeah, you know what's the crazy thing? The beta actually was more optimized than the final version. Even though they promised us that the final version was going to be more optimized. Yeah, no. The beta, I could get 120 frames. The full version, like, oh my god. Getting 60 frames is like a lucky thing. Alright? Do you see how much the game is slowing down right now? Because I'm killing everything with an S. It looks like this. It looks like this. If you ever try and do some of the stuff that you could do in the beta. Alright? So yeah. That's okay, Sasha. We're doing our best to understand you so that we can help you as well. You're more than welcome. I understand that there may not be many streamers streaming in your native language, so I'm very glad that you're taking the time to understand English, even though it's not your native language and you're literally trying to talk to me through Google Translate. It must be difficult for you, but I hope that I can still help with the content. So thank you for enjoying my videos, and keep learning English, you know? One day we will have a good conversation. I like to meet people from all around the world. Real optimization needs to happen because I should not need a 4090 to play Monster Hunter Wilds. I'll tell you that much. 2B. It's wild right now.
Let's end this.
It is hyper disappointing. I have not been more disappointed with how Monster Hunter Wilds optimization is, but you know what? The only reason I can look past it is because the game is so good. Sure, Mr. AM, you know, if you say so, you go enjoy that. This game is much easier to learn than Destiny. Well, at least I feel that way, but, you know, everyone's gonna have their own opinion on that. But for me, I certainly think it's easier than Destiny. Destiny, I had to jump through all sorts of hoops to get unique weapons or find some hidden quest. Nah. Just give me the Amorphous, and I build my weapon, and I'm happy.
Damn it.
I'm loving Monster Hunter, so I hope you guys will tune in for the streams. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I've got a lot of big creatures to hunt. So, yeah. I've got more music to put out for you guys, big creatures to hunt. Lots to do. Lots to do. Oh, listen, this Monster Hunter is the greatest Monster Hunter in the history of Monster Hunters maybe ever. So I'm very impressed with what they've done. You know,
This is where it ends.
for me, this is solidly my game of the year.
This is awesome, huh?
I know the year just started, but hey, for me, it's game of the year already.
There's no getting away.
For me, I want to reach 120 FPS, but yes, that'll take some time and some work. I have no idea what that game is, but we'll see. If it comes out and it's good, I might give it a go. Let's see, what is this? Oh, it's another Korean game. Action adventure game. Ah, but it's developed by Pearl Abyss. I don't know. If it comes to Singapore, then maybe, but otherwise no interest. I am not a fan of Pearl Abyss. I'm not a fan of the GTA series, so unless it's really, really awesome, I don't know if that'll be game of the year. I mean, it could be, because a lot of people like that series, but I'm not a fan of it. So, for me, Monster Hunter is more my speed. I will actually, what I'll do, Pedro, is I'll keep it on my watch out list, but this type of game is I'm usually not that interested in. However, if it comes out and I see a lot of people taking interest in it, I promise you I'll play it. But we'll see. We'll see whether or not it's going to have that interest in whether or not it even comes to Singapore. Because Pearl Abyss often does not support Southeast Asia. And if they don't have a Southeast Asia section that can play the game, or like I said, if I can't get it through Steam from my region, I can't play. That's the whole reason I never touched Throne and Liberty. I was very excited to try Throne and Liberty, but the moment I saw they did not support Southeast Asia and Singapore, I said, nope, okay, cool. You diss my home country? I diss your game. End of story. Oh yeah. My region is an entire player base, which is why I find it strange when games choose to neglect Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia is a big gaming community. Very, very big. I don't trust trailers, Pedro, but I'll wait and see. So I appreciate you trying to get me into it, but look, I'm gonna wait and see. I'm gonna wait and see whether or not it's worth my time when it comes out. But thank you for telling me about it, at least. Again, I don't trust trailers. For example, I can give you an example. No Rest for the Wicked looked amazing. And they got all these popular streamers to try it out. And it turned out garbo. You don't even hear anyone talking about No Rest for the Wicked. So, yeah. No, trailers are good. I don't think the trailers are necessarily bad, but for me personally, I just really hate trailers. I want to actually see the game and come to grips with it for myself, because the trailers for Monster Hunter look great until we all saw the optimization, and most trailers are set to 60 FPS. So yeah. Well, you're a fan of BDO. I'm not, so we'll see. Yeah, pretty much exactly what I just said, 2B. So we'll see. We will see. I'll keep an open mind. But yeah, I like to be able to actually come to grips with the game first.
Oh, damn it.
Is the whole reason why a lot of people hyped Mecha Break. But as soon as I actually played the game, I was like, the monetization here is horrendous. No thank you. Doesn't matter how good a game is. If the monetization is bad, I'm not going to spend a cent on it. I'm not going to support it. Well, I hope that it'll be as good as you've been waiting for. Nah. I was never big into MMOs, to be honest. Not really my style. I like games where I can make tutorials, builds, guides. Monster Hunter series actually suits me perfectly. TFD, of course, same thing. I like games where there's a lot of cool building, things like that, or ways that I can help people with the type of content. Yeah, basically it's action adventure. So I will look forward to it. And like I said, I'll keep an open mind. I'm always willing to keep an open mind. This is Ines, Mel. Ines is a electric descendant. She was recently released. And she's pretty OP. So a lot of people use her for farming because she's one of the fastest. She goes around, goes zip zap zoom, and, you know, blasts people into oblivion. Now let's go have some fun. Now, which outfit shall I pick today? I haven't played her hot spring outfit in a while, so why not? Okay, let's go on a little boss tour for fun. Ines is better than Bunny, yes. She basically completely eliminated Bunny from the equation. By the way, guys, don't forget to like and share the stream, yeah? I don't know. I like her different hairs. Ponytails are cool. But, I don't know. Her hair from the supply shop's pretty nice. Foxy, you replaced her just the same, so don't even lie. Ah, lol. My distance was too far. Okay.
It's already over. I'm disappointed.
Let me try that again, but like super up close and personal. I'll never take that back. I'ma just make you suffer. Much better. But with this thing, you have to have some actual technique, which is not that cool. Boo! I don't want technique. Boo! Having technique sucks. I don't think any devs allow that to be. But which game are you asking about? If you're talking about First Descendant as a live service game, no, you shouldn't be modifying any files. You could literally get banned for that. If you're talking about Monster Hunter, there are things that theoretically you can modify without, you know, getting sent to the abyss, but you still might want to be a little careful. Now the next one, let's try fire focus. Yum yum yum. Time to mess around some more with this, just because I can. But yeah, honest to God, devs should just learn to optimize their damn games. Once they do that, life is good. A lot of devs right now, they just basically use upscaling and frame generation as a crutch, which is pretty bad. No, I don't. I don't use Valby. I don't find her strong or useful for any content, so honestly, I've never built Valby. Sorry. And how dare you be too lazy to check? The only people who get to be lazy, Emmanuel, are those that are my top supporters, and I don't see your name in that list. How dare you? But yeah, I don't find Valby useful right now. She's not really the best for any content, so meh. She goes in my meh pile. Yep, time to ban Emmanuel. Just bought everything for her? Well, you can still play around and enjoy. I haven't made a perforator build. And thank you, Squishy Taco, for sharing the live. I appreciate that. If you're talking about this build, I'm just messing around with it for fun. Just roll 3 fire rate cores, dude. Stutters are crazy.
It's already over.
Hey, Sonny. No. There are no such notifications, Emmanuel. If they did that right, then the popular creators would like get notifications all day, every day. It doesn't work like that. But either way, the only thing I'm talking about top support is top supporter on YouTube, dude. Because like I said, my commission is very, very small. So I actually don't care how much people spend on the game. Registering me as a creator is just to add to my supporter numbers. Because the more supporters I have, the more I can do. But either way, we're not going to have a super high support account right now. And the commission is very, very small, like I said. So genuinely, for the ones that support me, they don't support me by their game purchases. The game purchases are just for themselves. How they support me is usually supporting via the stream. Super chats on YouTube, donations, tips, all that kind of stuff. But it's up to them. Like that one, we don't really bother forcing. And yeah, there's going to be stutters in all the bosses because there was a graphics driver update that I forgot about. And it was a few days ago, so I hadn't updated. So I updated yesterday, so I'm going to stutter in all the bosses again. And yes, all my cores are level X. I don't have any cores below level X because there's no point in having a core below level X. Yeah, you can do that, Foxy, if you want. Trying a different character. Nothing wrong with rolling a bit of variety in life. Everybody's life has to have, you know, variety. Thanks for the hearts, Martin. Appreciate that. Very kind of you. You know, it's kind of sad, like, that this thing, cool as it is, it's still not as good. A shoddy would actually be faster than this, which is very, very sad. You can go ahead and do that if you want. Of course. Thanks for the roses, guys. Appreciate you. I'm disappointed with this perforator. It's not as cool. I want it to be cooler, but it's not cool enough. So, hashtag sad. I guess in the end, this thing still can't beat. You know, let's go make my Smithereens a Colossus killer for fun. Yeah, the Perforator's performance was kind of disappointing. I don't think it'll be as good as the Smithereens, you know? If I turn my Smithereens into an anti-Colossus weapon, then maybe we can do some interesting things. Can I get weak point? Let's try. Yeah, I can. Nice, this is just a little extra. Okay, now we're gonna re-roll some cores. Why? Because I'm a legend like that.
I'm gonna make you look finer.
Equip cores onto the Smithereens. What the hell is this? Let me roll it without recoil. I think it'll just be funny. Let's try both aim shot accuracy and hip fire accuracy. Hip fire. Hip fire. Okay. Now aim shot accuracy. Okay. No. No. There we go. Okay, let's see what'll happen with this. Now, let me firearm attack 80%. But no, I want the bonus to Colossus. Come on, Colossus. If it's not 550, I don't want it. 550. Okay. And then here we're gonna put in a fire rate core. Come on, fire rate. Yeah, 16% is good enough. Okay, now let's see. Now for glaze specifically, I know I should probably change the element, but let's just do it this way. In particular, concentration. Wait a second. Do I not have an additional X slot? That's so uncool. Thought I had one, but I guess I don't. Well, that's rough and tumble. Yeah, I'm gonna just go with real life fighter instead, and we'll just use weak point sight. And what's the other one? I do want to have aiming, but will that really matter? Is there even one that'll work here? Targeted vulnerability. Let's go with that. Okay, now this thing is ready for a test. Let's just have some fun with this particular gun. Let's see how far it'll go. Just for the fun, of course. Greg's is a bossing weapon. Might be okay on like Enzo and Haley, but not for others. Because Greg's cannot roll fire rate, so you're stuck rolling rounds per magazine, which realistically only benefits certain characters. That's my take on it. Okay, that was a little too close for comfort, but there we go. Okay, the most basic boss is down. Onward and upward. Eternal night, hell of love in a haunting hell. Sadly, Predator's Instinct doesn't benefit the Smithereens. I should probably remove that for a fairer test. I'll do so after the next round. Just for the sake of fairness, of course.
Enemy eliminated.
Pow, 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 pow. That's always fun, isn't it? For those that ever get bored of using the last dagger, just remember, we still technically have the Smithereens. Technically. Okay, yep, this will work. Well, it shouldn't be bad. Well, you know, not everybody's like you, Pedro. Other people do get bored of doing the same stuff, so they might need a little breather. After all, variety's the spice of life, ain't it? No variety is why we are in the situation we're in. Just saying. You know I wear a cap a lot, but the other day somebody told me that they didn't realize my hair was curly. I was like, bruh, people hadn't seen my hair. But yes, I have curly hair for anyone that doesn't know. I mean, it's pretty obvious, man. Okay.
I will end.
Now, pow 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 pow. Bang 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 bang. I know, but some people are unaware. But that is because they are not as cool as me. If they were as cool as me, there would be no problem. But they are unfortunately not as cool. You see, and that is the difference. There are those in this world that are born cool, and there are those that are uncool. But nah, generally once my hair gets longer, right, it's like usually super curly, so I don't really have to worry about combing it too much, so I just leave the cap off. Ah, Enzo from Overwatch. I don't think there's an Enzo in Overwatch. If you mean Hanzo, different character. Enzo in Overwatch. Can you imagine if they did a crossover with Overwatch and Enzo was just in there randomly? I would laugh so hard. Yes.
Weak.
I think firearm attack is better. Interesting. I can indeed. I think I have to re-roll this because bonus firearm attack versus Colossus is cool, but not good enough. Just like the factional damage, it's not really getting bonuses. Oh, I'm just messing around, Jay. I've got nothing to farm. I've got nothing that I even want to do in this game. So I'm just here talking with people, just messing around, you know, doing some shenanigans. Occasionally, I join a dance party. Actually, you know what? Do I actually have that skin? I better check. I think I did buy it for her, but... Weird. Do I not have that? I've got the Defiler one. What the hell is my super ugly Infernal Walker outfit? Let me just double check. Yeah, maybe I didn't buy it yet for her. Weird. I thought I bought the Infernal Walker for every lady already. Did I just miss it? And also, why is it not showing me that outfit here? Weird. Okay, I do have the defiled. Let me double check for a second. Change Descendant. Because I know for sure I have it for Haley.
Hold on a little longer.
Use Haley. Sorry, just replying to that guy. Gotta be polite. Did I not get it for Haley either? What the hell? I'm pretty sure I bought them, so where is my freaking weird ass? Oh, maybe I didn't even get the Infernal Walker once. Oh well.
Target confirmed.
Practically. It is an outfit in the game, my dude. Okay, let me go remess around. I think I need the original firearm attack back. Come on, give me an 80% roll again. Okay, one more try. Yeah, see? I knew one more try would do it. Let's see. I want a better hip fire accuracy. Okay, that's a better aim shot accuracy. Okay, that's the best aim shot accuracy. Now hip fire. Come on, where's my hip fire? I said give me my hip fire. Give it to me. Good boy. This thing I don't care about. Okay, now I'm gonna get greedy. 20% fire rate, come on. I'll spend 5 cores because green is precious. Far too precious to waste. Fire rate 20%. Okay, great. Didn't even have to waste that much. That was lucky, wasn't it? Let's just make some more of these. Make some more of these. And of course, oh man, I can't even make more of these. Lol. I can make some of these. These ones, I'll limit it a bit. Not all the time. I mean, not very rarely it will have one, but otherwise you may as well just spend $1. It's only $1 to buy Descendant slots. No problem, Jay. Glad you enjoy my videos. All right, let's go mess around again.
Have you completed preparations?
I have a feeling this one will go faster than I did before. Better-ish. At least it's 4 times faster than it was before. At least is that. Can you imagine doing it before all this shenanigans? I'll tell you, it was not a pleasant experience back then. Hooey. Well, Minot, first and foremost, do not type in caps. And you're supposed to use an S. Mr. Fong, have you seen my YouTube short that explains this whole thing? You should probably watch my YouTube short that explains the whole thing. I'll link you. I know what you're talking about, and yeah, please tune into my YouTube shorts if you don't want to miss crucial information, Mr. Fong. Here you go, Fong. And Minot, please follow my NS guide. I showed how to clear Void Erosion Purge with an S. If you're using Bunny, don't use Bunny. You should be following my guides. Alright, and please in future, make sure that you do not type in caps. Let's be respectful to everybody in chat, yeah? Just because you type in caps, I'm not gonna magically hear you better. Well, in general, if you type in caps, basically it means that you're shouting at the other person. So try not to do that, okay? Nah, this is not for Defiler. Defiler is fastest with Last Dagger. And lol, Biggie. You asking for that channel ban, bruh? How you doing, Bob? Did I just restart? Damn it, I restarted instead of moving on to the next one. But no, I'm just messing around with this because, you know, sometimes you get bored of just using the Last Dagger. So I figured, hey, why don't I pull out the shotgun once in a while to just go bang, 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 bang. Hello, Atish. Doesn't matter where I shoot, this is a shotgun. So it legit doesn't matter where I shoot. Just blast. I look in the general direction of the enemy and there you go. The only problem is the short range on it. Like, I did so much damage, this guy straight up just decided to phase. Lol. That's wild. Sure. I mean, you can do that if you want to. I'm not building a second weapon to waste time. To me, I'm like, no, thank you. My time is valuable. I would rather play other games if I'm going to spend that amount of time. No offense. If you're happy with it, good. Enjoy. I'm not doing that. That is crazy. The game does not have enough content or players to warrant me spending my time doing that. But if you're happy, good. I'm happy for you. There's no need for a leak, Minot. Everybody already knows what the next Ultimate Descendant's gonna be. It's Blair. They literally tell everybody in their live stream, dude. Why would you need a leak? They told everybody it's Blair. And they showcased it's Blair. Everyone knows it's Blair. Are you okay, Minot? Are you okay? Hey, Lawbreaker, how's it going? Well, I've heard it is, TJ, but I just genuinely don't know. I'll be real with you guys. Like I told a lot of people at the start of stream, I haven't kept up with any of the dev live streams or the Q&A because I just don't care. I'm just going to wait until they drop the patch, and then I'll tell you guys what's in the patch, but I genuinely have no interest right now. All I want them to do is make sure the game is good. Because right now it's in its kind of like, I guess, slow phase. So I'm kind of just disenchanted. And I'm waiting for them to get everything good.
I'm disappointed.
Why would I have tips, Atish? Like always, I wait until I actually play the content live on stream. Then I give tips. Even if there's gonna be a new boss, what am I gonna tell you? I haven't done anything right now, so unless you want me to lie to you and say, oh yeah, I totally have this build that's ready, it's gonna go and kill the new boss, you know? Come on. You should know that my channel is not like that, Mr. Atish. You've been here before. You should know that we only deal in real, actual information. So, never be stupid and ask me, do you have any tips for a new boss that's not even out yet? Like, come on, bro. Let's be more realistic. When the actual content is released in the game, I will go and do the content, and then I'll give you tips and information based on the content. Because I cannot give you something early and lie to you, right? Unless you want me to be like all the other channels out there and lie to you, then by all means, you know. But I'm sure that's not the case, yeah? Oh, and I missed the message earlier, but Minot, you're new? Fair enough. But yeah, for most ultimates, right, usually about, just in case you didn't know since you're new, usually about 2 to 3 weeks or even a month before the new season, what they'll do is, or they will release information about what the new ultimate's going to be, all that kind of stuff. So if you tune into if you're interested in the updates, if you tune into the dev live streams and you go to the official Discord, there's a Q&A section there. They'll usually leak information in there. So normally you won't get that information directly from me. I, in fact, am the one who gets it from my chat because I don't usually attend the live streams. My chat will attend like the dev live streams and they'll tell me, hey, Robot, this is coming out. And I'll be like, okay, that's cool. Hello, Servando. My Smithereen builds? I can give it to you another day. I'll probably do a video on it. It's just, I just designed it for fighting Colossi, but it's non-specific. I'll probably just drop like a short video on it. Where is the best place to farm gold? Have you seen my video on it, Mr. Atish? If you haven't, you should be checking my video on it. I'll link you. But in future, just search my channel. Anytime you need to know something, just search my channel. If a video doesn't come up on my channel, it means that I didn't make a video. Or that the information is not that important. Here you go. Here's the gold farming video. Enjoy. First of all, I'm not Japanese, so you can just say thank you. Okay? And that is also the wrong spelling of arigato. So please don't do that. You're gonna spell something, you gotta spell it correctly, okay? You can, but I speak English. This is an international stream. You can just say thank you. We understand you. Technically, because I'm Chinese, if you wanted to say it, you should say xie xie. Don't come up with arigato, okay? Do I look Japanese to you? Should I be talking more like Hanzo? Should I, or maybe you expected Genji's accent, you know? Yeah, I mean, I'm not really watching my goal, but at the same time, you know, you never have enough. When you're building and testing random shite, you just need more and more and more. Which is the only real downside. You never have enough. Okay, that is a terrible spelling of xie. Alright, the Chinese spelling is like this. Okay, you type xie ever again, I'll personally reach through the computer and I'm gonna hit you in the face. Okay? Just speak English or I'll beat you up. Okay, now where was I? This man trying to offend like 16 generations of people all at once. Shameful. Foxy, bring out the shame bells. I demand shame bells right now. Okay. Now never ever say that again, okay? In future, just use English. Alright, good sir? Thank you. Now, shame this man. Foxy, shame bells, now. Where's the Foxy? Hurry up with the shame bells. I demand them. I demand the shame bells, now. Also, let me go test this. Yes, there we go. As I required, the shame bells have arrived. Ha ha!
I am analyzing the void paradox.
Thank you for deploying the shame bells. I appreciate that. It's okay, Rena. You missed everything. You missed all life. Even with the stutters, this was fast and easy. Nice. Again. After that, I should probably harvest some parts. I really should. And I will do that. I will actually go and bother doing that. Let me actually try a frontal assault.
Don't get in my way.
Okay, so full frontal will not work. It has to be the rotation. All right. Turn on night, tale of love in a haunting hell. Go and get more catalyst and go and get more gold. Build whatever build you want, as long as you're following one of the builds on my channel. But yeah, focus on getting more gold and catalyst because you'll need way more than 6 and 8 million. If you haven't built your ultimate bunny, focus on building ultimate bunny and make sure you have my build for ultimate bunny. It's on my channel. Fair enough, Minot. Well, keep tuning into my streams when I play First Descendant, and you'll probably learn a lot. Looter shooters are not complex, it's just about learning the builds, and once you have the right build, you can just beat any content easily. That's all it really is. There's nothing special, fantastic, or difficult. It's just you get the right build, you have the right technique, and you're good to go. But since I'm here, and since you're here at my stream, I would suggest now is the time to ask questions. If you have questions, then ask. If you have all that, then do whatever you want. As long as you follow my builds, you'll be fine. And if you've already got all my builds, then focus on whatever you want. Like, there's no right or wrong answer. Do whatever you want. Yum, 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 yum. That's literally just RNG. That is the right direction. I mean, as long as you've got all the builds on my channel, then there's nothing else to do. Do whatever you want. Your direction is yours to choose. I mean, once you have my builds, what else do you need? So, that's it. Play for fun now. And of course I'm the best. I'm the greatest human being on the planet. But even I cannot psychically predict what you need to do. So once you have all the builds you need and you're MR27, do whatever you want. There's no further direction. You know, if you choose to say that instead of thank you, I will just not answer your questions anymore, alright? I would prefer you just talk normally, okay? That kind of thing shouldn't be joked about on a public space because, quite frankly, you might offend some people, so I would really rather you just say thank you, okay? Because with all due respect, sir, you're not Chinese, so... you know, don't take the joke too far. Because I would hate to have to ban you, but again, as a YouTube partner, I do have to enforce their terms of service, so... this is an international stream, let's just keep it to English. Let's keep it respectful, okay? Thank you. go. I'll tell you what, John, I have a lot more patience now than I did in the past, and the only reason why is because our player base is already small. I don't want to chase people away if I don't have to, because I still want to see this game succeed. And no matter what, I still have to represent Nexon. But I'm not gonna lie, some days it does wear on me. This thing is annoying. If you don't get the first knockdown, it is absolutely irritating. And having to go up high each time is just annoying. But fair.
It's already over. I'm disappointed.
I'm gonna do that again. I think I'll just have to grapple over it, which is the same technique we had to do with the executor, but it's still annoying. If only we had like, you know, if only we had our old 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 player base. I tell you, I could be rude to everyone. Yeah. They haven't had that many events, Minot, so I wouldn't be able to say. Who knows? Keep an eye on what events come in future, but I really don't comment on events being the best or not, because we don't know what they're going to come up with in future. The Christmas event was mostly just to get players playing again, get people to invite their friends back in, you know? That was what it was for.
Enemy eliminated.
The last dagger is, of course, faster, but, you know. Sometimes you just want to shoddy people.
It's already over. I'm disappointed.
Well, if you are linking and you started over at level 1, make sure you check the troubleshooting guide. Let me see if that, yeah. Do you see that? Nexon has a guide about linking your account and stuff like that. So if you're having any problems, just check that guide. That should help you out. May as well spend some Amorphous now. Now remember, guys, if you got questions, now's the time to ask, because for the next 2 days, I'll be on that Monster Hunter Wilds grind. And of course, new music is coming tomorrow onward. So those of you who like my music, look forward to it. I'll be doing my best to fund some more licenses, so... No, I messed up. Ah, well. I need a more consistent way of doing this. Hold on. Yes. New music will come tomorrow. The first 2 tracks still haven't gone on Spotify yet, but I'm confident they will be there soon. But yes, the rest of the EP will be out on SoundCloud soon. Very soon. And by soon, I mean tomorrow. I need to see if I can do this like point blank. I should be able to, but I better be sure. So if I literally just shoot at it, it'll work. Okay, let's try that again.
All my senses are coming on.
Okay, so if I don't start like super close because of the range for it, this is gonna be annoying. So I think I should just literally start underneath it and just kill it that way. Because phases are annoying and one phasing is the best. Okay. Okay, again.
I will find my daughter.
I'm sure you'll find your daughter, Glay. Okay, test number 2. Unfortunately, even that did not work in its favor. That is such a shame. She will probably find her in 2 weeks. I'll tell you, the only thing I ever hate about these bosses is the false idea that that they give you, because they do this thing where they make it so, oh, this boss is a little like, this boss has like an immunity phase. Like, they didn't have that. You would cream the bosses almost instantaneously. I feel that this was one of the big mistakes of this game. Artificially forcing a mechanic where the boss is immune was silly. Like, mechanics should be an interesting part of combat. Falsely extending the fights was just wrong. Now, if they wanted to go down this road, though, they should have made the fights way more rewarding. Hey, Doc. Because now with the new bosses, which are Abyss bosses, basically everybody and their grandmother is all about just killing them fast anyway, so... Well, no, it's not that they haven't learned their lesson. It's that they changed direction. 95% of the bosses in this game have immunity phases because that was the old previous direction that they had. They only started changing their direction with the Abyss Colossi. So you've got it the wrong way around. Rather, they gave up on the whole frenzy/immunity thing, which I guess they wanted to switch up their pathway, but yeah. Yeah, the immunity is not tied to hit points, so you can sort of like break through it, you know, and stop it from ever phasing, which is nice. I will give them that. But overall, I still think it's silly. I still feel like, oh, excuse me. If they really wanted this, they needed like a different system. They either should have stuck with the whole frenzy thing, make it so that we have to, you know, you have to at least build to either overcome the frenzy or, you know, deal with the boss as per normal. But if they had leaned into the frenzy state, it would have been nicer if they made all of these fights team-based or requiring co-op rather than solo, because once they made these fights all solo dolo, what incentive does anyone have to work together to overcome any of this? There is no incentive to do so. That's literally the entire problem I have. Because either we do it solo for fastest times and best rewards, or we just don't bother at all. Because co-op is a lot slower and there's nobody matchmaking anyway. So I feel like they kind of split two directions, and it was wrong to split. If they had leaned into the whole frenzy state and all that kind of stuff, it would have been nicer if they just made everything co-op, like just matchmake for every single boss. Sure, you're gonna have some losses, and sure, some people might not be experienced, but that's what fosters community. Instead, we have solo runs, so no need for community. You can just do whatever you want. As long as you got the build, boom, you win. Not quite the wisest decision. Anyway, I'm sick of actually trying, so I'm just going to I'm just gonna do this the old school way. Let's do this the old-fashioned way. The guaranteed way.
New subscriber detected.
It's been a while since I've done this in particular. I wonder who remembers the old proper sniping position that I taught you all. Oh, whoops. Sorry, fam, the stutters killed me on that one. What I don't understand though is that why the hell did we have stutters when we hit this boss like a few dozen times already? That's weird. I thought stutters was only for the first time you load in. I do understand that I had a graphics driver update, but don't tell me it's gonna stutter for every single character that I try and load in. That's just wrong. You can use Dagger Glaive for anything. The thing is, do you really just want to use one character for all your activities? All day, every day? Anyone can use Dagger Glaive. But a lack of variety isn't exactly what we need for this game. Because eventually the time will come when you're just bored and just don't even want to do it. Because it's the same thing over and over and over and over.
It's up to me. Over limit freeze.
Boo! Although weirdly enough, why is that happening? Ah, wait a second. Now I remember why. This is the wrong build.
This is Haley. Interception was successful.
I was like, wait a minute, something is incorrect here because this is literally one of the strongest builds that I have. How the hell is it not insta-killing? Ah, that's right. What I'm using right now is the one that's designed for Infernal Walker and the Perforator, of course. There's only a slight variation, but it does cause a difference in how much damage you actually deal. So always be careful of that. Yep, this is fine. Like one time I can say, okay, I missed because of stutters. 2 times? No way. Well, pretty much, Silveris. That's what we discussed a lot earlier in stream. There just isn't a need for variety. Because every bit of content in this game has boiled down to one thing. Let me clear this content as fast as humanly possible. So that I don't have to interact with mechanics, don't have to go through the boring immunity phases. Basically, it's just let me murder as fast as humanly possible and we win.
Aiming at target.
Now this is the correct build. You'll always die in about 5 shots. If it's the correct build, it's a guaranteed wipeout. If it's the incorrect build, then you'll see 7 shots and he's still alive. Something went wrong somewhere. Everyone puts white hair on Haley. I mean, she is the Snow Queen, so yeah. It was designed for her. It was made for her. Every incarnation of Haley, I've always put the platinum blonde hair on. It just looks better. Viessa is garbage. Nah, I'm joking. Viessa is awesome, but she will take some time to get good. They have to buff her because she just can't compete with all the other descendants. Like, she just literally doesn't serve a purpose right now. I mean, Haley does like 3 times Viessa's damage, so sorry, she is the Snow Queen. Viessa is just some extra. She's like filler content. She's the starter Pokemon that most people evolved, found out she sucked, and put her straight back into the Pokebox. Pokebox storage. Yum yum. Haley is the Snipe Queen. No one beats the Snipe Queen.
It's up to me. Over limit freeze.
I mean, she's literally one of 3 starter Pokemon.
Selecting objective. Mission complete. Heading back to base.
And all 3 of the starters are unused. Ajax doesn't even deserve the title of being freaking Bulbasaur. Alright, at least Lepic is somewhat close to a Charmander, but useless because all the others are better. All the legendary Pokemon that you farm later are better. Viessa is a nice, like, Squirtle starter, but basically, yeah. She too also gets shoved into the box because there's no point. So, what are they if not starter Pokemon? I mean, hell, I can't even consider them starter Pokemon because that might be considered insult to starter Pokemon. If you think about it, I brought my Blastoise to Elite 4. I brought my Charizard to Elite 4 and won. So, you know. I'll be real with you, Sonny, I don't know. And the reason why I don't know is that I've stopped following the live updates and things like that. I'm just going to wait until the patch notes and I'll tell you. So maybe, maybe not. People are saying unlikely. They say it's going to be a later update. Only Serena's coming in the next update, or so people say. I don't know for sure. I remember it and it was trash. It was fun for like all of 2 seconds, then it became absolute garbage. Oh, Ultimate Blair is in April. There you go. Beaner has the answer. I haven't played Queen Frey for a while. May as well. I can agree to that, Orochi, but here's the problem. If you make every Descendant do that, then the game just becomes killing things in 10 seconds. People aren't going to stick around for that. Because as it is, you do that over and over, it becomes mind-numbing. It's not challenging, it's just pushing buttons. I feel like they've really increased the poison graphics. Look at that. Look at all that wild nonsense. Since I turned off damage numbers, it actually looks like these guys are just getting poisoned and wiped out. It's funny. One cast and everything is mangled. Nothing. There's nothing to farm, just chilling. Playing for fun, really. Oh, that's right. I haven't even brought out Freyna for a long time, so figured why not, you know? Well, yes, Freyna will always be the most comfortable for dungeon runs because, like I said, she literally is just somebody cast and don't think about it anymore. You cast, you win. That's it. Nothing special, nothing fantastic. But yeah, you know, I got all the hot spring skins, but I never played Freyna's. So I figured that's not cool, you know? Queen Frey deserves a chance. With no damage numbers, I tell you, in a twisted way, it's kind of creepy. Yeah, she did. Her swimsuit is, like, honestly, better than a lot of the others. I mean, Luna got a cool one, but nobody really plays Luna. Although hers has the cool RGB lighting and whatever. Like, it's awesome, but again, not a large population plays Luna, so it goes to a bit of a waste.
Ah, my shield. Shield is damaged.
Yeah. That's kind of the problem. We've reached a state whereby it's just hard to properly enjoy this game. You see, look,
This is your boy.
one thing which I'm liking about Monster Hunter, and of course I'm sure there are OP builds for speedrunning, which you guys will unlock later on, but right now what I'm enjoying is that every fight feels meaningful and challenging. Like, I feel like, okay, so I'm fighting this fight right now. It's great. You know, enemies challenge me, and there's a chance for me to die if I make too much of a mistake. But if I play close to flawlessly, I can do just fine, you know? So it just feels like I'm being rewarded for getting better at the game, and that just feels awesome. But here, because there are no real fight mechanics other than just casting your skills, we end up just like pressing a button, winning, and that's it. So that, I think, is what Monster Hunter Wilds has taught me. No, that's very true, Techno Turtle. It really does. Sure, Pedro, what's your idea? Exactly. There's no real mechanics to the fight. Whereas, like, with the speed runs, like, for example, using the longsword and stuff, you have to know when to quick sheath your weapon, and then after that, do the perfect dodge, and then counter their attacks and stuff like that. Like, it's not all that easy to do, you know?
Watch your feet.
So skill becomes very involved in that,
Shield is damaged.
which I think is the main factor that we missed here. Because there's no technicality to the fight. Every fight is exactly as shown. I press a button, it ends. Well, you see, so that's the thing. Not every Descendant should be, you know, suitable for every task. I feel that Descendants need roles. They need to decide if the Descendant, and even if it's a two-way split, that's fine. Some Descendants must be designed for bossing, some Descendants must be designed for farming. The mistake was that Ines was best for both. You see? If every Descendant in your roster had a purpose, then life would be a lot easier, because basically, hey, you can build your Descendant now for what it's supposed to do. That, I think, would be awesome.
Shield is down. Damn it. Shield is down.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Pedro, but, you know, okay. Here's a thumb for you. Anyway, I'll be looking forward to the March 13 update. Hopefully, it will be a good one. I would genuinely love to see the player count of this game soar and rise again. I'm not even gonna ask Foxy, honestly. I'm just gonna be like, okay, cool. Because the answer was gonna be something like that, so there you go. Now you have learned your lesson, Foxy, in asking. Sometimes I just let people say what they want to say.
Welcome. You're here for modules, right?
Hello, Figs. I get you, John. And remember, guys, talk nonsense in chat and I'll just straight up ignore you, okay? That's how we roll here. If you will not talk sensibly, then I will simply gloss over you. Under normal circumstances, I'd agree with you, John, but I'm not actually doing anything special. I'm literally just bumming around. I have nothing to do, so I'm bumming. I mean, I could go level up a weapon I haven't leveled yet, but Actually, have I even built the hammer and anvil? I don't think I have. I probably should. I've been so lazy on it. Let me go see. Hammer and anvil. I haven't gotten any of this. Okay. I'm pretty sure I have the... Okay, not that. Not you. You! I have you. Okay. So, 099. White Knight Gulch. There it is. I'm just gonna build it for mastery. I don't think it's worth investing in. We can always keep our fingers crossed still. And you're right about that, John. I don't bother with that. I don't care if it does bless me or doesn't bless me. At this point, it's just something to do. But that's the thing about RNG. It's random. I have tons of shards. All the times I spend in the special operations, I've got tons and tons of shards. Don't even have to ever think about them. I mean, I'm sure at some point I will have to, but right now I don't, so it's all good.
Reload.
Pretty much what John just said, mostly because it's stuff that we've already discussed dozens of times before. Yep. A tank class would be useful, but only if there's a need for a tank. And the tank must have there must be an aggro system, which we don't even have. And then there must be a way for the tank to draw aggro. So 3 things. I think, you know, if we go even more basic than that, John, first and foremost, we need content that actually promotes teamwork in the first place. Even if there is taunting still, is there any content right now that requires a tank? There isn't. We don't even have a need for co-op in the first place, hence the problem. Everybody's just trying to solo. So I'd be more than happy with these types of mechanics, and of course all these changes would be great, but we need to have a reason for them. Oh, Leon. Right now the reason, the core is missing because we don't, like, ever since the devs started making some of the hard mode bosses solo, because players complain, why can't I solo? I don't want to work in a team. This whole game has become like a single player experience, practically, which resulted in player boredom, because at least when people were forced to co-op, there was some forced interaction. As much as people hated it, sorry, you better learn to work with other people. So I think they need to dial it back, go back to the roots of what this game should have been about. Everything in this game that is co-opable should just have matchmaking. If your random teammates suck, then sorry, you start forming teams, or you accept that, or you start teaching people, like we used to do in the past. We would tell people point blank if in the match if they sucked. We would say, hey, maybe you guys can come over to the channel and learn about builds, learn about stuff like that, because that'll help. So, yeah, honest to God, they need to overhaul their system and bring it back to co-op. Right? Co-op content right now needs to be more rewarding. I think that the biggest problem that we have is that we have no need for co-op. Yep. Yeah, I use Contagion. I haven't changed my build since I uploaded it. It's still the same endgame frame farming build. I mean, you can use Venom Synthesis, it's the same build. Whether you use Venom Synthesis or Contagion, you will effectively run the same build. So, choice is really yours. I actually got One Piece. But again, I don't really care whether I get it or not. That's RNG for you. It can be a 32% drop, but you may not get it. You know, you could get every other piece for like 20 runs in a row. And then finally, they'll give it all to you in one row. Like, you never know. Sorry, I'm not following, Leon. I haven't kept up with any of the news. Where were people permanently banned? See, there's a hammer and anvil right there. Could you elaborate more on that? Because I know nothing about it. Oh. Lol. I've gotten 2 so far, Techno Turtle. Ah, fair enough. There's another hammer and anvil. Like I said, this is how RNG works. It'll just you just go, you get it when you get it. Never try and fight RNG, just keep going until you get it. Don't think too hard about it, just go. But fair enough. There, another hammer and anvil. Mostly players refund quitting or trying to cheat the in-game store. Fair enough. Oh, and void erosion cheaters. Fair enough. Makes sense to me.
Shield is damaged.
But, well, at the end of the day, people will always try to get an unfair advantage in games. Whether, you know, no matter what we do, I think that will always be the way of things. So long as it's a video game, people will try and get around the system. Well, there's a leaderboard, and where a leaderboard exists, people will try. People will try to get on top. Whatever way they can, you know? Fame can be a dangerous drug. Yeah, that's fine. No need for them to show the whole name. The only people who are probably interested in the whole name are those like drama llamas who are like, oh man, we really need to cause some drama now. So, like I said, for me as well, I don't care. I just need one more, apparently. So 4 for all those is not too bad. I mean, I should have gotten more, but like I said, that's RNG for you. Sometimes you roll the dice and the dice rolls you. Yum, yum, yum. Okay. I think I will call it there. I am gonna go put those pieces to cook in the oven, but I should probably go and get some more Morphos at some later point. That they do, John, that they do. But like I said, that's life at the end of the day, you know? It's always gonna be a situation like that.
If it's new research, I'm listening.
Oh, I shall. I'm going off to hunt right after this. Aha. Nanotube, synthetic fiber, and Sanctium. There we are. Yes, I will prep that tomorrow. But for now, ladies and gents, thank you all very much. You've been a fantastic audience. I'll catch you all later, okay? Don't do anything weird while I'm gone. And remember, the next 2 days are all Monster Hunters, and it's exclusive to YouTube. So those who are interested, make sure to tune in on YouTube. I'll see you guys there. Catch you later, and enjoy the monster hunting. It's great.